Welcome into sportsbookreview.com. I'm Gary.
And I'm Chris.
And it is Halloween, baby. That's right. It is college football week 9 closing lines. Hopefully everybody is having a fantastic morning, a fantastic weekend, all that good stuff. You've got all your trick-or-treat bags ready to go because I know you chumps are going to go trick-or-treating after this. I know how it is with that free candy. I know I'm going to get some of these adults that's showing up at my house asking for free candy. I know how this works. I know how it works. But, hey, I got my guy, Buddy, back here that's going to help me make some picks this morning, and he's going to help keep you chumps off my porch later on this evening. So, hopefully, again, you're all having a good morning, and you're ready to make some cash. That's how I'm feeling today, Chris. You feel the same?
Yeah, man, let's go. I think Frank back there can pick games better than my dead ass. So
that's hey, he's in here. He's got a couple of picks for me this morning. We're gonna wait till the end to give them out, but he's already told me what he likes, so we got it ready to go. He doesn't like to talk on camera, so you're not gonna hear him say a lot, but he's here just so y'all know what's up. All right, we got a bunch of guys jumping in the chat. KCK, if not, I don't know what he's saying. I don't know what he said. Oh, Kentucky plus 17, Charlotte plus 10, Arkansas plus 14. Hey, he likes them doggies. I can get down with it. Let's see. Thomas is in. He said, go Georgia. Proud Babylonian talking some NFL. You might be on the wrong show, my friend, but we will welcome you to stick around if you would like to. With that said, go over to sbrpicks.com/NCAAF. Do us that favor because that is where the college football universe is discussed. All the biggest games. We do deep dives on those. We do deep dives on a lot of other games as well. We're going to have a good time over there. Make sure that you visit the website, sbrpicks.com/NCAAF. If you would so kindly do us a favor, go ahead and like the video. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. We do this every Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, every Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and we've got our Monday opening line show. So we got a ton of different college football content for you here. Just make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Leave your comments down here. I want to know what you guys think about the show or what you guys think about the bets today and what your edges are. Where do you see an edge in some of these games today? Leave it in the comments so that we can go back, check it out, see what you guys got right, what you got wrong. That way you can kind of go against us, see what's up. King said, I faded Chris last week. He went 3-4. Shake my head. Hey, you still went 4-3 if you did that. I mean, you had a winning week. and Chris did all right last week.
Yeah, 3-4 is not a bad week for me.
It's not a bad week.
The percentage is coming up.
You got that right. You got that right. sbrpicks.com/pick6. That's PICK and the number 6. It's down in the description. You can win up to $1,700 in cash prizes every single week. You can bet games on, well, you'd be picking games in the NFL and in college football. Go do yourself that favor. It's free to sign up. Very easy. sbrpicks.com/pick6. And we're not going to be able to get to every game today. It's impossible.
Oh, no. Way too many.
Yes. So make sure that you guys jump in and follow us on Twitter. I am at Gary WCE.
I'm at Chris B. Giannini.
And we will answer whatever questions you got. As soon as the show's over, I will jump on Twitter. A lot of guys this week, all week long, I've been responding to people, letting you know my thoughts on games. Now, I'm not always right. And Chris ain't always right. But we're going to let you know what we're leaning. That way, if you want a little confirmation on how you're thinking, we'll try and provide that. Or we'll provide the other way. We're just going to let you go. So Jason jumps in. Great show, guys. Any love for Rice today? I do like Rice today, actually. We're not going to talk about that game a bunch, but it's Southern Miss on their 3rd head coach of the season. I don't know why they're favored. It smells a little funny, but they were favored by like 3.5, and it's down to 1. So like I kind of like Rice here. So that's how I would roll. Let's do a quick Thursday and Friday recap. Thursday night, all I'm going to say is I was dead wrong on Colorado State. Holy moly, did they not show up whatsoever. That was a bad pick on my part, and I apologize to the masses. Friday night was a lot more fun. We had Minnesota, Maryland, which was the real debut of Baby Tua. That's what I'm talking about. 5 touchdowns, had like 400 yards passing. The kid was unbelievable. Unbelievable. 45-44 over Minnesota as a 19-point dog, or I guess 17.5, 18-point dog, depending on where you got the book. But yeah, they were a lot of fun. East Carolina kept it close with Tulsa. Tulsa was a 17-point favorite, and they only won 34-30. And man, they were down 17-3 at the half last night. So it took some real work in that second half for Tulsa to be able to come back and win that ball game. And then finally, Wyoming put it on Hawaii.
You think the weather had anything to do with that?
I think that we said that on the show like earlier in the
week. Little nippy in Wyoming, wasn't it?
It was about 30 degrees. I don't know that them Hawaii boys are used to that, but 31-7 was the final there, and Hawaii went off as a 3-point favorite in that game. So, yeah, there you go. There you go. All right.
Somebody's talking about Maryland made Northwestern's defense look amazing. Listen, Frank back there behind Gary play better defense than what Minnesota can play right now.
You got that right. Now, I don't know what that says about Michigan per se, but
it's fine. It
is what it is. Biggest news of the week: Clemson quarterback Trevor Lawrence is out. Now, we will talk about that in our first game here in just a minute, but I had to bring it up because, man, that is a massive, massive deal. We don't know if he's going to play for against Notre Dame or not, but we will get there. Let's see. Gerald jumps in. Tulsa was gifted that win. I saw a little bit about that. G Jr. said, "Love you guys." Camden Church. How about the Big Ten dogs? Might as well sprinkle a little something on all of them.
Tread carefully.
Casey said, "I'm digging ECU's quarterback. Ehlers is awesome, man. I brought him up multiple times this year. He's a lot of fun. All right, let's do a recap right quick of our official picks from Tuesday, and I'll go on and give you the updated line here. I've got Kansas State plus 3.5. That is now 5. So I've got not good closing line value, but still I got it, under a field goal, whatever. I think Kansas State's going to win the game outright. So I don't know what's going on with the line movement. Georgia, I had minus 14.5. That is now up to 17. So I don't know how I feel about it at 17. If it gets back down to like 16.5, maybe. Maybe not maybe. I would take it 16.5. San Diego State minus 7.5 is what I had. It is now up to 8.5. LSU, I took it minus 3. That is now at 1.5. So that one went against me. Northwestern plus 2.5. It is now plus 1.5. So that one is moving in my direction. I had Texas A&M minus 12.5. That one is now 14. So I do have closing line value there. I took Oklahoma State minus 3.5. That one stayed the same. And Coastal Carolina and Georgia State, I've got over 61.5, and it is now down to 60.5. So that one moved against me, but that's okay. That's okay. Chris, you want to go through yours?
Yeah, I got Arkansas plus 12.5. That is now 14. Really like the 14. Get 2 touchdowns is big. Ohio State minus 11.5. You can now get it at 10.5. So you can hit it again. Ole Miss minus 16.5, now 17. Still like that. Love that. And Michigan minus 24. It's now minus 22. People love Michigan State. Man, that's just crazy. And then favorite play of the day, Northwestern plus 2.5. Now you can't find 2.5 anymore. One place I think I saw still has a 2, but most of the time it's 1.5 across the board. Doesn't matter. Wrong team's favored. Like that.
Yes, I like that one as well. Crash 99 jumps in. I heard Temple's quarterback is out. Last I heard, he did not practice on Thursday. It didn't look like he was going to practice Friday. They have said he will be a game time decision. So we will see about that one. We will see. Chad jumps in. I love Cincy. Gerald said, I have that Temple over. Let's see. Take the over in Ohio State. We got a bunch of guys in here, man. We appreciate all of you guys for jumping in this morning with us. Of course, like we said before, we're not going to be able to get to all the games. If you have a question, we're going to do a Q&A at the end. But if we don't reach out to your game, you can always hit us up on Twitter. I'm at Gary WCE.
I'm at Chris B. Giannini, man. Let's roll.
Let's do it. Saturday, October 31st. Let's jump into the noon slate. We've got 119, 120 rotation number. Boston College and Clemson opened at 31.5 with a total of 59.5. It's on ABC. It is now Clemson minus 24.5, pretty much across the board. There's a couple 25s out there, 25.5 at one spot. 57.5 is the total now, which is kind of crazy. You're only taking 2 points off the total, and now you've taken almost 7 points off the line. It's a little crazy. So I would still probably lean Boston College because we don't know what DJ Ungwalele is going to do in this spot. First-time starter. I would lean Boston College, especially with the fact that we've got Notre Dame coming up next week. You feel differently, Chris?
No, I think the same thing. And here's the thing. This is going to go more towards what I think Boston College is capable of than what Clemson is. I think this team can score still, okay? And they're not going to score a ton, but I think they can keep this thing within 4 scores. I just do.
If Clemson decides to run up the score, they will do it by handing the ball to Travis Etienne.
Yeah, but I don't see him doing that because what are the chances that he's going to take a chance on Etienne getting hurt?
You don't want to be
because if they don't have Lawrence and Etienne for Notre Dame, they're going to have a hard time beating Notre Dame.
That's going to be a massive problem. You are right about that. Georgia and Kentucky, 195, 196 rotation numbers. Opened Georgia minus 14 with a total of 45. This is on SEC Network. It is now Georgia minus 17 with a total of 42.5. Now, a lot of this probably had to do with the fact that Kentucky's quarterback, Terry Wilson, is out of this game.
That's it.
Joey Gatewood, of course. Now, I liked Georgia beforehand. I don't care who's playing quarterback for Kentucky. They cannot move the football. Like, it doesn't matter who's in because Gatewood has been playing in spots. But do you see anything different here? Like, I love Georgia here.
Yeah, I think I kind of leaned Kentucky a little bit when just because they tend to play these games a little close and Georgia kind of always messes up a game. I don't see them messing up a game against a backup quarterback though.
Now there's a little bit of a trend there, and the Colonel jumps in. He said, "I like Georgia to roll." G Jr. said, "Dogs 4-1 so far against the spread this week, I guess." Look. Here is my issue. It's that Georgia, the week before the Florida game, is like 1-8 against the spread the last 9 years. They just always seem to get ready for that Florida game, but it's never Kentucky. Like, this is a matchup situation instead of a trend situation. Georgia does everything that Kentucky does, only better. Like, it's almost mirror images here. It's like Kentucky is not as good at what they do as Georgia is. And it's the same thing. They both love to run the football. They stop the run. And Georgia just has it's like 3 times as many blue chip guys.
No, I completely agree with that. But wouldn't you say the same thing about South Carolina last year? South Carolina is not a crazy offensive guy. They're built almost exactly like Georgia, just way less talented than Georgia.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And South Carolina still went in there with actually a 3rd-string quarterback and beat them and kind of dominated the football game and needed Georgia to have a couple of miracle plays and gracious calls by the SEC officials just to take it to overtime.
Yeah. Now you're right about that.
So it's not like Georgia hasn't crapped a game away to somebody who we don't think they should. I just am not expecting it. So I don't know. I just don't trust Gatewood.
Yeah, no, I can understand that. Moving on from there, Memphis versus Cincinnati, 137-138. Cincy opened a 6-point favorite. 60.5 was the total. Cincy -7 is the play now, and 57 is the total. This is Memphis's first game against a top 10 team in 20 plus years. I mean, just insane. And the fact that Cincinnati is ranked in the top 10 goes ahead and lets you know that this is a pretty crazy year. Like we typically would not have this happening, especially, in the middle of October, like or even at the end of October. Golly, we are that close to the end of this. That's insane. That's insane. And Cincy is still number 7 in the country. Like, I'm just shocked. Memphis has won 5 straight in this series. They are 5-0 straight up. And that doesn't mean that they've covered the spread every time. As a matter of fact, Cincy has covered more often. But here, Cincy is the favorite, and I kind of like them in this spot.
I'm going to beat a dead horse. I think Cincinnati is built to be these fast, athletic teams this year. I just do. They saw the way that the American was going, and they saw UCF build their team. Memphis has built their team identically to that, and SMU follows suit, and they have done the same thing. Houston very much doing the same thing, and Cincinnati says, we're not playing that way. We can't get that kind of skill talent here in Cincinnati in the Midwest. We get big boys, and we're just going to be stronger than you. You're going to be faster than us, but we're going to be stronger than you. And by the end of the game, your speed is gone and our strength is still there. And I just think that's what's going to happen. I think Memphis is going to make this close, probably even lead at halftime. I would probably look at whatever Memphis's first half line is. By the end of this game, Memphis will have no gas and they will have no fight left in them because they're just going to be pounded on by bigger, stronger men.
I think you might be right about that. You might be right. Now, the only chance here is if Memphis can stop the run.
That's it. But I like this. Memphis defense is built on speed. They're made to stop UCF. They're made to compete with SMU in Houston. They're built to stop other fast, athletic guys. I don't know that they can stop just strong men trucking them. I just don't know how they do that.
I tend to agree with you. I don't think that
I would like to see it. I love Cincinnati this year. I'm all over Luke Fickell, but I mean, we're Memphis guys. It would not break my heart to see Memphis win this game outright, but I can't find a path to it.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm with you. I think the line, even at a touchdown, might be a little bit low. So
I do. I like Cincinnati a lot this year, especially against these teams.
It's a double revenge game. Remember they beat?
Oh yeah, I was at both of those games last year.
Yep. 2 and
8 days apart in the Liberty Bowl. I was at both of them.
Yep,
and they were both incredible.
Oh yeah, for the conference championship game. I mean, just fantastic. All right, moving on from there. 109, 110 rotation numbers. Michigan State and Michigan. Michigan opened a 23.5-point favorite. 53.5 was the total. It went up.
I got it to 24, and I was happy with that. I thought it was going to keep climbing.
Yep, and instead, it is now down to Michigan minus 22 with a total of 52. So, of course, all this late money deciding to come in on the rival, as Michigan calls them, the little brother.
Hang on, and you think this money is because of last night, right?
I think part of it might be because Minnesota, their defense looked so bad. And Maryland, remember, Maryland got shut down by Northwestern. They got beat 43-3 the week before, and then on a short week, Maryland comes back and puts up 45 on Minnesota. How much of it last week was the fact that Michigan was good, or was it just that Minnesota was absolutely terrible? And what I told you before we came live here was, Michigan State had 5 fumbles against Rutgers that all gave up short fields. Rutgers scored on a ton of them. But even still, Rutgers got 7 turnovers and only scored 38 points. I don't think Michigan State is that bad. But yes, I could 100% see Jim Harbaugh putting the wood down.
I think this defense is way better than Rutgers' defense. And I think, yes, sometimes when teams are equally matched, fumbles are a hard thing to predict, right? I don't think these teams are close to equal. And I think they're going to have they might not get 7 turnovers, but I think they're going to get all the turnovers they need to dominate and control this football game. Michigan is going to win the turnover battle pretty handily.
Yeah.
This game's going to end beating them by 30. They're going to win by 30.
I like now this won't be an official play for me, but I like where your head is on this one. 117, 118, Kansas State and West Virginia. This is the ESPN2 game. West Virginia opened a 3.5-point favorite with a total of 47, and immediately everybody, what's that smell? Something smells.
It
stinks.
It does stink too, doesn't it?
And it still stinks now because as soon as the Felica, like Chris Felica, the Bear and whatnot, starts tossing out these stats and everybody starts reading up on, hey, unranked teams as a favorite at home over ranked teams, like it's 24-3 against the spread over the last 3 years.
Listen, the Bear knows his stuff. It's tough to go against him.
I know, but here's it. Look, it's all the way out to 5 now. So I feel good about where I'm at. I got plus 3.5. I went ahead and bet it again at 5 today. I love Kansas State in this spot. I think they are the significantly better team.
I do too. I can't see it.
All of these different trends and whatnot. You and I talk about this. It may be 24-3 against the spread for the unranked team at home. I don't care. None of those teams were West Virginia.
This is my problem with trends, Gary. If you give me a trend of something that's happening this season, I'll hear you out because these are the teams that are playing. Last year, year before, go 5 years back, 10 years back. I don't give a damn. I no longer care at all what those other teams did because it's college football. These rosters turn over pretty massively every 2 years.
Oh, yeah.
So anything that happened more than 2 years ago, I don't want to talk about. It doesn't matter. Those guys aren't there. So
Jimmy Stain coming in here talking trash. He said, these country boys are so square. Sorry, Jimmy. I'm glad you came in and watched for a little while, though. If you want to stick around, we'll let you. It's all good. But yes, I'm all over Kansas State in this spot. I love them here. I think they are the significantly better football team, and they don't make mistakes. You have to make mistakes to lose these kind of games. West Virginia is not that good. They have shown it multiple times this year.
I can't figure out how this defense is doing what it's doing.
And by the way,
that doesn't make sense to me. But I'm staying away from this game completely because it scares me. I trust in the Bear, and I don't like going against him. He's our boy.
But here's the deal. With that trend, 24-3 against the spread, right? Mm-hmm. There's still a 3 there.
That's this is my argument to you all the time, though, and you always shut it down.
Yeah. No, that's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. All right, last noon game that we're going to hit on. Again, we're going to do a little Q&A at the very end of the show. We're going to roll through the afternoon slate. Coastal Carolina and Georgia State, 129-130, opened at Coastal minus 1.5 with a total of 65.5. Game's on ESPNU, by the way. Coastal minus 4. Now the line jumped in the last 24 hours because it was announced yesterday that Grayson McCall, the quarterback for Coastal, is going to play today. 60.5 is the total. It has gone down. I have the over in this game, and I still love the over in this game. I love it even more with Grayson McCall back. Both of these teams can score. Every game that Georgia State has been in has gone over 65 points, and the only one that actually hit 65 was the first game. Everything after that has been like 68 plus. So I am all over this. Give me the over in this spot. And if I've got to lean one way or the other, I like Coastal with their quarterback coming back to play this week. I think they're a really good team. Georgia State, very live dog. Crazier things have happened. I'm not going to make a play on it, but if I had to lean a certain way, I would lean Coastal. Chris, you kind of feel the same?
I don't know, man. I think these teams that have played like Coastal has, I mean, they've played so well. They've played so much better than we see them. I got off of them last week and actually went against them. Didn't work out very well for me. Not last week, 2 weeks ago. I don't know, man. It just makes me nervous to keep riding a team that I didn't believe in before the season at all. So,
G Junior jumps in, said Coastal is 5-0 against the spread, and he's right.
But that's my problem is so I was on Marshall, a team that I love, by the way, last week, and they were 5-0 against the spread, and then they weren't. And they still dominated and controlled the game, and they won their game, and that's fine. But at some point in time, these books always seem to come back to the mean.
They always catch up to them.
Yeah, and that's what scares me is once a team is so far out against the spread, I get a little worried.
Well, you know what? Let's dive into the afternoon slate, and I'm going to see how you feel about this one with you talking about getting away from the books and whatnot. 177-178, UCF is playing at Houston. UCF opened a 3.5-point favorite with a total of 76.5. It is still, it is down to UCF minus 2.5, and the total sits now at 81.5. It got up to 82.5 yesterday at one point. It's been bet down a little bit, but typically in these spots where the total is over 80, it goes over. Like this is Kyler Murray and who was the other guy? Kyler Murray and Will Grier. So Oklahoma, West Virginia a few years ago had a total of like 88.5, I think even. And that one went well into the hundreds. So I would take 81.5. Chris, did you freeze up on us or are you good?
Oh, I'm here. I mean, I think I'm still here.
Okay.
Can you still hear me?
Yes, I got you. I got you. What do you think of over 81.5?
Yeah, it's a lot, man. That's a lot. But I think the only play is over. I think the only play is over.
I think so too. I love it because if you do under 81.5, you're asking one of these teams to stay under 40.
Yeah.
And I don't think either one of these defenses can do it. Maybe I'm crazy. All right. Notre Dame, Georgia Tech. 123-124. Notre Dame opened a 20-point favorite. 56.5 is the total or opening total. It's up to 59 for the total, and it's now at Notre Dame minus 20.5. This is the game before Clemson. It is a road game. Thoughts here?
It seems like a perfect look-ahead line that Notre Dame is going to, maybe keep this one closer than they should. I just think Notre Dame's such a better football team. I would lay the points and take the Irish, but I'm also incredibly biased. I've been on the Irish like 3 weeks in a row. I like this Notre Dame team. I know they're a little funny. I know they're not the best Notre Dame team we've ever seen, but I don't know, man. I can't.
Georgia Tech team is so up and down.
They're just not a good football team, Gary.
No,
I don't even think they're up and down. I think they're bad.
That's what I'm saying. But they have enough talent to be able to beat Louisville by 19 as an underdog, and they've got enough talent to go and get walloped by Clemson or get beat by 4 touchdowns by Boston College last week. Like, it's just all over the board. I'm staying away from it because
if Notre Dame doesn't cover, it's strictly looking ahead. I don't think it's because of talent. I don't think it's anything that Georgia Tech does, by the way. I don't know how Georgia Tech's going to score.
That's a good question.
This Notre Dame defense is kind of suffocating.
It really is. I cannot wait to watch that game next week. I cannot wait.
Yeah.
So,
and I really, as much as I'm not a Clemson guy, I want Trevor Lawrence to be there.
Yes. Jimmy said, let me guess, they like UCF. No, actually, if I was going to make a lean, I would go Houston, by the way. But
I would take UCF, but I do like UCF.
There you go. I would take Houston at home. I feel better about them. UCF, smoke and mirrors right now. LSU, Auburn, 181-182 rotation numbers. Auburn opened a 1-point favorite with a total of 62.5. This is 3:30 p.m. Eastern time CBS game, by the way. LSU is now a 1.5-point favorite. That line was all the way up at 3 at one point this week. I took it. I took it at the worst possible time. I thought it was going to keep going up, and instead it has gone back down, so I hit them again today. I still like LSU in this spot. Bo Nix under pressure, not good. And I understand that LSU has had problems in their secondary, but Auburn's only passing option right now is just throw the ball up and let Seth Williams go get it. He won't be able to go get it against Derek Stingley. It's just not going to happen. So I love this spot. I think we're going to see Bo Nix make a few errors, and I understand that I'm going against the hoodoo, voodoo, judo that is going on inside of Jordan-Hare Stadium, and I understand that apparently God is a fan of Auburn because he keeps giving them these ball games. I don't think it's happening this week. I think, if anything, the SEC wants to get away from the idea that they are fixing games and letting Auburn stay in this race. I think that LSU comes out swinging. I think this is a perfect spot for them. TJ Finley looked good last week. Now, I understand there could be like the second game slump or whatever where, you didn't have to think in the first game, and now you're thinking about everything that's happening in the second game. I get all of that. I still think LSU is the more talented football team, and I think they got some things figured out. Bo Pelini against this kind of an offense, I think that offense or that defensive line is going to smoke that offensive line for Auburn without Brandon Council on it. I'm all in on LSU. I love
love Finley, love him to death. He's my favorite new quarterback that I've ever seen in my life. I love this guy is the size of a linebacker and has a laser arm and just seems to kind of play the game fearless. I'm okay with that. I'm all right with that. We'll give the ball to the other team every now and then. That's okay. But what scares me is Auburn's run game. It's not Bo Nix throwing the football. It's Bo Nix and Big Tank just getting to that outside edge and trucking DBs because that's what they do. And that's what we let every team do so far.
Okay.
That's my only fear. It's my only fear. I'm a complete stay away. I love my Tigers. I need them to win this game. I need them to win this game for my sanity. But at the same time, I don't know how we stop that run game. And you and I know the offensive game has just changed. I still believe in a world where run the ball, stop the run, and that's how you win football games. LSU's run game isn't the greatest in the world, and we ain't stopping the run against anybody not named Vanderbilt, and that's what scares me.
LSU's run game looked significantly better against South Carolina than Auburn's did.
Okay, true. You're right on that, but I don't know that we have a great run game, though. I don't know that means what I really hope, and I told you this in our recap show, it looked like that was 2 weeks of Coach O just getting in the butt of that offensive line.
Oh, it's entirely possible.
And I hope, because those guys are all super talented. Those guys all have lots of stars on the back of their names, and they hadn't been playing well at all. So I'm hoping that offensive line is fixed. That worries me. It just worries me. That's all. Cause for concern.
AOQuell Nation jumps in. TJ Finley has a laser, man. He seems very comfortable in the pocket, making his read. LSU wins and covers.
Laser frozen ropes are being thrown on slant passes. I have no idea how. I don't even know how these guys catch the football anymore. I mean, these guys throw the ball so damn hard.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. Well, they got stick them on the gloves, man.
Well, yeah, the technology in the gloves is pretty ridiculous. So
let's move on. 161-162, Northwestern heading to Iowa. Speaking of needing to win a game, both you and I need Northwestern to get this cover and get this win.
Win the game. Win the football game.
It's 3:30 p.m. Eastern time on ESPN. Iowa opened a 3.5-point favorite that is down to 2.5. Or no, sorry, 1.5, right? I think
Iowa, it's down to 1.5.
Yeah, 1.5. All right, so open 3.5, it's down to 1.5.
You're not getting 2.5 anywhere. You can find 2 one place.
48 was the opening total. That is down to 44, and I still think that's too many points. This game has 20-17, 20-13, 17-10 written all over it. This is beat 'em up, nasty Big Ten football, and you and I both like Northwestern here.
Hang on. I think this over-under is 10 points too high, and that's just where I think the number should be. I'd still take the over if it was at 34. The under if it was at 34. The team total, Gary pointed this out before we went on air. The team total for Iowa is 23 points. They could play this game for 8 quarters. Iowa's not scoring 23 points.
I agree.
That might be the lock of the year.
I love the under team total for Iowa at 23. So yes. I'm all over that one. Moving on from there, let's roll through this very quickly. 175-176 TCU Baylor. That's a 3:30 p.m. ESPN2 game. TCU is now a 3-point favorite. It opened as a pick'em. The total of 50.5 has come down to 47.5. Baylor is not very good. TCU is not very good. People tend to think TCU is a little bit better. You think?
I agree with that. I think I agree with that.
Would you lay 3?
No, I don't know that I'd lay points with TCU against anybody other than Kansas, but I would just stay away.
If I had to, I'm staying away from this.
If you make me play the game and you say you got to make one of these picks, this is a pick 'em game or something, I would take TCU and lay the points.
Okay.
Baylor's offense looks completely inept. There's nobody I'm more disappointed in all year as an individual player than Charlie Brewer. You know that because you know how much I love that kid after last year. I know he wasn't great. I wasn't expecting Heisman Trophy hopeful kind of guy. I just thought he could lead this team and at least show some competency in that offense. He looks bad throwing the football. He looks bad reading the offense. He has not played well. And the team around him offensively hasn't played well either. So it just
these two teams are led by defensive guys.
Yes, they are.
I would play the under 47.5.
My only problem is both these teams have shown a propensity for turning the football over, and those defenses would not surprise me if each of them score or just get them into scoring range to where the offenses all of a sudden put up points because they only have to go 15 yards.
That is a valid.
That's the scary thing is both of these offenses are so bad they're going to give the other team optimal times to turn the ball over.
Agreed. 163-164 staying in the Big 12, Texas and Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State a 3.5-point favorite at opening, and it has stayed there. This is the 3:30 p.m. Eastern time game on Fox. Total of 58. That has ticked up to 58.5. It has basically stayed the exact same the entire week. There's people that love both sides of this. I am on the Oklahoma State side. If Texas had not beaten Baylor last week, if they had not looked good in doing that, this line would have been closer to 6, maybe 7. I mean, Oklahoma State, I think, is the significantly better team. They're the team that I trust to not make the major mistakes in this ball game. Chris, yeah, I know you love betting on Mike Gundy, and he has treated us very well over the years. You kind of rolling with him here?
If I had to, I would. This is a game I'm not playing. If there's a game where Sam Ehlinger has to pull a win out of his butt, I think it's this week.
Totally fair.
That's my only fear is the most talented player on the field all day will be Sam Ehlinger.
Oh, over Chuba?
Yeah. Oh, Chuba hadn't played great all year.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, ye of little respect for the Cowboys.
Yeah, but hang on now. Those are three guys that
Post.
combined make a really good player and
How?
combined make a really good offense, but they haven't put up good numbers yet. Chuba's had one good game all year. Come on now. That's been the most disappointing comeback we've ever had.
I agree. I'm with you. But still, I love Oklahoma State in this spot.
No, I want Oklahoma State to win.
Yeah.
I would just be afraid to play it. This seems like a kitchen sink game for Herman. If he can beat the only undefeated team in the Big 12, there's a world where he's coaching for his job right now, right?
Oh yeah, I think he's already lost it. But
no. If he wins out, he hasn't lost his job.
Yeah, he has to win out.
Okay. Well, outside of Oklahoma State, he'll be a significant favor in the rest of his games,
except against Iowa State, and then he still has to play Kansas State.
I think he's still a favorite in both those games, and I bet he's a touchdown favorite in both those games. We'll just have to wait and see what the line is. I'm just telling you what I think.
We will see. Moving on, the last afternoon game before we jump into the few evening games here. I had to toss this one on for you, Chris. 133-134, Indiana at Rutgers. Indiana opened a 13-point favorite. They are still a 13-point favorite. That line ticked down a little bit, and then it went back up. 55.5 was the total. That is down to 53. Thoughts here? I mean, it's a Big Ten Network game. These are two teams that got wins that maybe nobody was really expecting, and now here we are. We got two undefeated Big Ten teams playing in Piscataway.
I know, this is crazy. I would stay away from this game, but if I had to play it, I'd play Rutgers just because it's fun. I don't know. You know how I feel. This is so ridiculous.
Oh God!
I think Shano's a good coach. I know I'm alone on an island with this. I think Greg is a really good college football coach.
A Colonel jumped in and said West Virginia is now -5.5. I'm starting to wonder if K-State has COVID issues. I don't get this line movement. I don't either. And I haven't either. Anything. I got my news ticker pulled up. I don't see a thing about it.
I will tell you this line is moving because on game day this morning, the Bear who
he just put out his West Virginia pick, didn't he?
Yeah.
Okay. That is what it is. That might work out in my favor.
I think a lot of this is the Bear because everybody in the world watches that show. Okay, and
never find people that are here with us.
Well, yeah, that's fine. They probably got it both on too. But here's the deal, man. So many people, and he's been hot. He's been red hot. I think he's been 2 out of 3 or 3 for 3 every week for the last 3 weeks or 4 weeks.
But his picks column the last 2 weeks is like
been undefeated,
12-1 or something.
Yeah, it's been a crazy number, and so that's what I think. Some of that line movement is not a COVID thing. I think some of that line movement is the Bear has a big stick that he swings. And a lot of people follow. And I'll tell you this, he's been good. I should have been following the Bear, by the way. We give our picks way before the Bear gives his. That hurts me.
That's true.
I need him to text me his picks before Tuesday.
You got his number. Just text him. Hit him up.
I don't want to ask him for that.
Hey, Kendrick Thomas jumps in. He said, what about UNC Virginia? That line is up to, I think, like 7.5 now. And it sat at 6.5 forever. And it was another one of those lines that just stank. Like something ain't right about this. Like, what is going on? And they finally moved off of it. And I mean, if I had to roll a certain way, I would roll with North Carolina because I just don't trust Virginia or their rushing defense. I know they looked pretty good last week with Vernon Armstrong coming back, but I'd be all over North Carolina in this spot. I think that this is feel good, get right, all that kind of stuff. I think they just got way better players. So that's the way I would roll on that one. Let's move into the evening slate here. 151, 152, Boise State and Air Force. Now, this is going to be a lot of fun to see these guys back at it again. Mountain West Conference opened at 9 in favor of Boise. It is out to 14. And the total was 53.5. It is down to 49. So this is the 6 p.m. Eastern time game of CBS Sports Network. I am not touching this game with a 10-foot pole. Any game that has Air Force for the foreseeable future, there is absolutely no way that I'm touching it because Air Force makes 0 sense.
What is the spread on the game?
It's 14.
Not the total.
No, the Boise Air Force game.
Yeah, it's 14 and a half.
Yeah, it's pretty much 14.
Man, that scares me. I would have loved it at 9. I'd have loved it at 10 or under, but I can't.
Can't be laying 2 touchdowns over Air Force, right?
A team that that looks chaotic to me.
They are insanely Air Force is capable of winning this game outright.
Yeah.
And yet I still like,
or they could get beat by three touchdowns.
I mean, it's just ridiculous. Just ridiculous. So
either of those outcomes are fine. There's like a 50-point swing that I could see this game going.
If you absolutely have to bet on this game, I'd probably bet the over 49 in this game.
I'm not touching any aspect of it because I
think Hank Bachmeier is going to be able to throw the football. That's the only thing that I feel good about. So I feel like they could score points. Like both teams could score points.
Hey, Joseph K has a statement on here that I want to bring up because maybe I'm confused. It says, your call on Minnesota was so bad, I'm worried about your call on Northwestern now. Did either one of us have a strong stance on Minnesota? Did you? Because the last 2 weeks I haven't had a call on Minnesota at all.
No, I don't believe so. I don't know what Joseph's talking about.
I don't either.
We haven't had an official play.
Last week I didn't pick Minnesota or against Minnesota, and this week I didn't pick Minnesota or against Minnesota. So maybe I'm wrong.
Well, Joseph may have us confused with some other guys, and that's okay. But you can go back and you can see our prior picks and our prior shows, whatever. We may have talked about the fact that Minnesota was like a 19-point favorite and the fact that Maryland looked so terrible against Northwestern.
I mean, there could have been a situation where you said, you got to make a pick. What would you pick? And I could have easily picked Minnesota in one of those games, but there's never been a strong feeling or any kind of play at all on them. So,
but even still, it shouldn't make you question the Northwestern call because, I mean, my goodness, like the team that Northwestern beat Minnesota. So it is what it is. It is what it is. All right, moving on. We got 4 more in the evening slate, and then we need to roll through favorite bets, et cetera, et cetera. So let's go
fast. Let's go fast.
190 Mississippi State, Alabama. Alabama opened 32.5. That's down to 30.5. That one's on ESPN. Total is 63.5 right now. That's up from 62.5. Any play on the over/under?
Nope.
I would probably lean the under here. I think Alabama's defense has got some things figured out, and Mississippi State has got 8 to 10 guys that have transferred out this week. Like they're running out of dudes. So I don't think they'll be able to score a lot, and I don't think that Alabama typically will run it up a whole lot. This could be a 48 to 10 kind of ball game, and if that is the case, that would hit definitely under the 40 or the 63.5. 135, 136, biggest game of the day. Ohio State heading to Happy Valley to play Penn State. 7:30 p.m. Eastern time game on ABC. It is it opened 9.5 with a total of 61.5. It is now Ohio State minus 10.5, which is actually down from what? It got up to 12.5, 13.
It got to at least 12. I never saw anything bigger than that. I took it Tuesday at 11.5.
Total is 64 now. A lot of love for Penn State right now.
Yeah, I think that's crazy.
I don't like Penn State in this game. I don't like them in this spot. I think Ohio State is significantly better. I don't care if Chris Olave is playing or not. I think that's a game time decision. I think Ohio State is just the way, way better football team. And yes, I get the trends, right? The Penn State's 5-1 against the spread.
Don't care about last year. Don't care about the year before. This team's playing for something different.
Yeah, I like Ohio State a lot in this spot. I think that they handle this with ease. Now, I would not take them on the first half because I do think Penn State could come out and be fired up in this game. And this is one of those where Ohio State just wears on you the same way they did against Nebraska last week, where it's close early and then the talent discrepancy just overcomes it, right?
That's right.
All right. Arkansas and Texas A&M, 191, 192. Texas A&M opened 11.5 point favorite. That is out to 14. I got it at 12.5 on the Tuesday show. Don't love it as much at 14. I will say that. This is probably a stay away at 14 for me. But if it drops below that to 13.5, whatever, around game time, I would jump on it because I think that's exactly where Texas A&M is going to have this ball game. This feels 28 to 14-ish, 35-21, somewhere around there, something crazy like that. I like Texas A&M in this spot. I know, Chris, you are all over Arkansas, right?
I am. I like Arkansas a lot. I think this is the best defense in the SEC. Sorry, Georgia. And yeah. I think Barry finds a way to slow down the attack on A&M.
I can understand your point of view. However, I am going the opposite way. So with that going, Missouri and Florida is the last game we will hit here, and then we're going to do a little Q&A to get us out. 193, 194 rotation numbers. This game is in Gainesville. Florida opened an 11.5-point favorite with a total of 61.5. It's on the SEC Network alternate, by the way, so hopefully your cable provider provides that. Florida is now a 14-point favorite with a total of 61.5 still. So the total stayed the same, but the line has gone up. I really like Missouri in this spot. Am I crazy?
Nope. This was almost a game that I was going to play at 11 and a half Tuesday, and now that it's 14, I'm on this team. I like Missouri. I think they can run the ball. I think they can keep the ball away from Arkansas or Florida just long enough to keep this game close. I think Florida will win. I think Florida, can control most of this game, but 2 touchdowns just too much.
I'm with you. Let's move into favorite bets from this morning. Do you have any that you want to give out?
The only added bet that I have is Iowa's team total under 23. I think that's insane. Get that quickly because that game kicks off in a minute. We had 3 questions that I wanted to ask you about that came through on the thing that I wrote down. Somebody asked Memphis, Cincinnati analytics. What does the prediction tracker say on that? Do you have any of your prediction tracker? Because I got one other game that was a prediction tracker game.
Yes, prediction tracker has Cincy minus 7.12.
Okay. Ole Miss Vanderbilt prediction tracker. Somebody asked about that. I didn't write down who asked. I just wrote down the questions.
I don't have it in front of me, but ask me the next question. And
the next question was, what is our opinion on West Virginia, Kansas State over under? Those are the 3 that I got that we didn't address that I might have missed.
So Kansas State, West Virginia total is 45.5. Or
I have no opinion about it at all.
I got to tell you, I think that I would roll under in that game because that stinks like a noon Big Ten game. That feels 20.
If I had to play it, I would play the under, but I don't have a strong opinion.
Let's see. And
Ole Miss Vanderbilt prediction tracker was the one.
It has actually got Ole Miss minus 11.3.
All right, so not enough to cover
not enough line.
Okay.
No, they still, the analytics still seem to love Vanderbilt for some reason.
That's insane.
But it hasn't. It has not worked out so far this season.
No, Vanderbilt hasn't covered a single number, but the analytics continue to say that they will cover.
I've got added bets for this morning. My favorite bets. I've got along with my Tuesday picks, of course. I like Penn State team total under 27. Utah State team total under 17.5. I think San Diego State handled it pretty easily. Yeah,
good defense.
Just like you, I like the Iowa team total under 23. I don't think they get to 20 against Northwestern. Missouri plus 14. Love that one. Kansas State, I'm rolling with plus 5, plus 5.5, whatever it gets to. I just like Kansas State a lot in this spot. And I'm not going to put a ton of money on it. I'm not putting a mortgage on it. We'll say that. And then Northwestern, money line, whatever it ends up being. I like Northwestern to win this ball game outright. So no problem there. Jumping into the chat to close us out in the next couple of minutes here. Let's see. Tyler said, I think Florida coming off a 2-week break is dangerous. This game can get ugly. The Flying Hawaiian said Boise minus 14 against Air Force. Nope, staying away. Do not bet an Air Force game. They are
for the foreseeable future.
I mean, it's just crazy. Let's see. Sydney Murphy, you guys do a great job. It's not their job to tell you when to give you information. I don't know what's going on, but Sydney, we appreciate you. Thank you for watching. Chad said Coastal is a legit ton of points, but I think Coastal covers. Casey said McCall is a gamer. Colonel said I got Mizzou plus 14. Florida has no defense this year, and Florida coming off of all the COVID stuff, man. Like, we don't know who's playing. We don't know what's going on. Like, it's kind of a mess. Let's see. Amari Andrews said you like Coastal. I do kind of like Coastal.
I don't.
It's up to 4 now, so I don't like it as much as I liked it at like 2.5, 3. But I would still lean that way. I mean, it's not one of my favorite plays. So, let's see what happened to. I love Colorado State. Yeah. I already talked about that. Just made a bad play on it.
They said I loved Colorado State. By the way, I have never loved Colorado. I do love Steve Adazio, but I never had a strong opinion on that.
That's
I don't remember that. They said that I would play in them in any place. I don't remember saying that, but.
Chris, you said Colorado State, the first game played against Fresno State, and I followed you and lost. No, I'm the one that played Colorado State.
Yeah. I am Chris, the big bald-headed one.
I'm Gary, by the way. So, and this is Buddy back here. So, Buckeye secondary is questionable, lackluster. Well, that's terrible because Penn State can't throw the football. So let's see. Bear took Georgia State plus 3.5. I disagree. Bear took Memphis plus 7. I disagree. It is what it is. It is what it is.
So we all have our opinions. Some of those I agree with, some of them I disagree with, and it happened. He's been a hell of a lot better than me. I'll tell you that. So
now you got that right. You got that right. All right, let's go ahead and get out of here. If you guys would do us a favor, hit that like button, share the show out, tell your friends about it, all that good stuff. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. We do this every Monday, Tuesday, and Saturday. Different times, of course. Monday is in the afternoon, and that kind of changes. I think it's like 4 p.m. Central Time for the most part. Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We do the Tuesday night pick show and the flagship show where we do our deep dives on the biggest games. And Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, all the time, right here, every Saturday morning. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. If you want to follow us, if you got questions about games or whatever, we are on Twitter. I am at Gary WCE.
I'm at Chris B. Giannini.
Yeah, I think that's all that needs to be said.
I was about to comment on Damien's question.
No. We will talk to Damien later on. It is all good. We don't have to worry about that. So you guys have been great. Thank you so much. Hey, the late night stuff, again, hit us up on Twitter. We will talk to you about the late night games there for sure. Go get your bets in. Have yourself a time. Go to sbrpicks.com/NCAAF. Again, like the video, subscribe, leave your comments on your favorite plays today. Let's go ahead and get out of here, Chris. Sound good?
Yep.
All right. For sportsbookreview.com, I'm Gary.
And I'm Chris.
And we'll see you all again on Monday.